Lately, I've been really busy making these plaques as going away and retirement gifts for fellow members of the military. Here's an example that features the regimental crest for the Army Transportation Corps. One of these already went to the senior Army officer of the entire Transportation Corps. In today's video, we'll be going through the design process and the creation for an entirely new plaque that my friend Scott asked me to do for his command. Okay, so this is just a peek at how pretty much all of my design work starts on a couch in front of the TV with my iPad and this iPencil. We're pulling in our reference image. We're going to make this out of different layers of wood. So it starts with just an analysis, looking at the design, what needs to be pulled out on its own layer, what needs to be portrayed in like a walnut, which is dark wood, or maple, which is a light wood. So I like to use those two because they're the best, in my opinion, at contrasting. So here I've got a reference laid out on top of the general shape of the plaque that I want to do. That's the kind of orange thing. And then I just go through and I make the lines. I draw out what the shape, what the layer needs to be. Now these are vectors that I'm creating. It's not like drawing a line. A vector is a path that can be captured mathematically, I guess you could say. And then since most of my tooling is automated through the CNC or the laser, those machines need something that will speak their language, that they can interpret in their own language. So you're seeing a lot of lines being captured as digits in the background. So here I'm just going around. I'm tracing the outline of the flame, and I'm just going to show you how I do this. I'm not going to show you the entire process, but this is just to give you an idea. So all that detail has to be traced at some point if I'm going to capture it as a cut in wood. Okay, so here it is. The design is actually done. Fast forward. I'm showing you the different layers that we're working with. Here is the base of the plaque, and the dark lines are going to be grooves that the bit of the CNC machine will cut. And then I'm going to show you how it layers real quick. All right, come on. So here it is, blank slate. Here's the plaque. Then it put on the first layer, and then put on the walnut balm with the flame details. If you're seeing the red of the cannons, that indicates what will be burned on the laser. So you're seeing the shape of the maple on that first layer. Okay, and then the brown ring with the words in it is walnut, and that'll be on the very top. Now here we are in a different program, which is designed for the CNC machine. We've brought in the vectors that we just used for the plaque base and telling the machine how to cut that. Right now it's doing a simulation of what we can expect to see on the table. Since we have our design digitally created, we now know our dimensions for cutting and milling our rough cut lumber to the specifications we need for either working on the CNC machine or the laser. We're going to be using both on this project. For this project, we're going to be making use of cherry for the base of the plaque and layers of maple and walnut. And we're going to be making thick boards thin. I'll show you what I mean. For example, here's some leftovers from some old projects. This is walnut. You see how thin that is? We're going to get that out of this piece. And here is maple, much the same out of that kind of piece. With the cherry, we've got something a little extra we'll have to do. This board is not wide enough for the plaque, so we're going to do something called book matching, where we resaw it down the edge of the board, open it up like a book, and join the two edges together and have a wider board. So it'll be twice this size. And since I have to make 2 of these, that means I'll be doing everything double. That means 2 plaques out of this, 4 slices of maple, and 2 slices of walnut. Which is okay by me because it's more efficient to do 2 jobs at once than 1 job 2 times. Before we split our board in half, I want to take it over to the planer to make sure we get one flat face, so that face can ride along the fence on the bandsaw. And then we can make sure we've got a nice, even cut down the middle. And while we're at it, I'm going to take it over the joiner and put a nice square edge on it. Here is the amazing thing about book match lumber. Book match lumber gives you a mirror image of 2 sides of the board. So for example, you got this grain pattern here, pretty much matches this grain pattern here because it came from the same fibers. You've got a mirror image. As soon as we get this face all cleaned up, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now that we've got our board split, we've got one side that's a little fatter. That's okay, we want that because we've got to mill down this surface so it matches a nice surface like this. And we're going to do that again on the planer. And once we've got them close to the same thickness, we're going to clean up this face. Now we've got a pair of very nicely matched cherry boards ready for joining, and this will be the blank for our plaque. So now that we got these two great pieces of cherry out of the clamps, we've got a few more tasks we got to do before we can take it to the CNC machine. First is we've got some glue squeeze out to address on the seam here. We're going to do that with the card scraper. And then we got to make it a little less wide to fit the planer, because we're going to plane it one more time. And you will see that this seam is going to all but disappear. It's going to be great. And this, folks, is how you know when your dust collector is full. I like to treat my wood shop like a kitchen. You clean as you go. Maybe you've seen my earlier videos when I did a feature for this vacuum cart. Well, here it is in action. And there you have it, 2 perfectly book-matched cherry blanks out of a single piece of wood for our plaques ready to go forward. I'm just going to give these a little sanding. We've got some imperfections to work out from the planer, but that's going to be a real quick fix. And after we're done with this, these plaques are going to be ready for the CNC machine. Next, we're going to go through and make some slices out of the walnut and the maple. Okay, now that the bases for our plaques are ready, we're going to set those aside, and now we're going to move over to take some thin slices off the walnut and the maple. 4 slices off the maple and 2 off the walnut. We're using the bandsaw, and then we're taking it over to the thickness sander, and then we're going to hand sand it, and it's ready for the laser. And this is ready for the CNC machine. Well, makers, I hate to do it to you, but I gotta stop the video right here and make it into 2 parts. I try to keep it under 20 minutes, failed, obviously, and I've got a lot more footage and a few more steps to go before we finish this project. Spoiler alert, this is the finished product. So make sure you come back in the following video and see how it goes. And it doesn't go quite as smoothly as we'd hope. Well, that's not good.